Hi, welcome back to Quinn the GM. I am ranking a million A Song of Ice and Fire characters today. I think there are 239, I believe it was, on this list. So, I am going to hop right into them so I can not have this video be 5 hours long. Aegon the First Targaryen, I'd say solid A tier. He's not, or maybe B tier. He's not much of a character. He just kind of starts everything. He kind of expressly isn't a character in a lot of regards. He's just kind of a blank slate. Aemon Targaryen is definitely an A tier. He's a great presence at the wall. He's a great mentor to Jon and to Sam, and I just really like him all around. Aeron is also an A. I think he's quite interesting. I really like his chapters. Specifically, The Forsaken is one of my favorite chapters in the entire series. I mentioned that briefly in my favorite point of view videos. Aerys, D, he wasn't great. I don't recall who Aggo is, so you're also going to go there. Alaros, I'm also going to put in B tier because I think there's a lot of interesting potential there, given that he's pretty tied in with Marwyn the Mage. Alistair Thorne, pretty decent little antagonist at the wall for Jon. Alys Karstark, probably B tier as well, I would say. Archibald Ironwood, I always want to say Euronwood, but it's Ironwood. He's one of the companions of Quentin, also probably B tier, pretty middle of the pack. Areo Hotah, first point of view character to be middle of the pack. I do like him, though. He does kind of have a bit of camera with legs syndrome, unfortunately. Arianne Martell is going to go at the top of A tier. I think she's really interesting. I like her struggles with finding her own role and figuring out what her relationship with her father is. And I think she has a ton of interesting potential for the Winds of Winter specifically if she sides with Aegon. Arthur Dayne, I'm going to put him right next to Aegon Targaryen because I think they're pretty similar. They're both characters who are supposed to be these famous great knights. They probably were, but we don't know much about them as characters. Arya Stark, S tier, pretty easily. She's great. I really love her chapters. She very narrowly missed out on the top 10 list. And yeah, all around, pretty good, though I wasn't a huge fan of some of her arcs in the show. Aerys Oakhart, he's pretty dumb. I honestly don't think he needed to be a point of view character, but it was okay. Asha, I'm going to put top of B tier as well. Another Greyjoy. I like her, but she's probably my least favorite Greyjoy point of view. Ashara Dayne, we don't know very much about her. People think she could be alive. Maybe she is, maybe she isn't. Personally, I don't know. I haven't given that much thought myself. Arain Waters, A tier. He's funny pirate man. I really like the Glidus videos on Arain Waters. I'll link to those at some point. They're really good, and I'd highly recommend you check them out. Balon Greyjoy is a D tier, bottom of D for now. He is bad and makes some very bad decisions. Balon Swan, C tier. Barbary Dustin, also top of C tier. I like her a little more. Barristan Selmy. Barristan Selmy is going to go in A tier, just under Arianne. He's really interesting. I like the fact that he's a very old point of view character, so he has a lot of interesting perspective on events that we've known about in the past. However, he's not the best at politics or taking care of Marine. Overall, I like him quite a bit. Belwas is also going to go in A just for entertainment value. He's a pretty cool warrior. Benjen Stark, bottom of B tier. We don't get a ton of information on him. He's just kind of there, and then he's not. Beric Dondarrion, also next to Benjen Stark. I think his Lord of Light stuff is cool, but he also dies pretty quickly. Big Walder, I don't dislike Big Walder. He's kind of a schemer. He's kind of more conniving than his cousin was. I like him. Biter, pretty easy D tier. Not much going on there. Black Walder, I'd say bottom of C tier. Bowen Marsh, nice watch. I think that he will go top of C tier for me. He's not the best. Brandon Stark is another person we don't know a ton about, so I'm just going to put him up here near Ashara Dayne because people think that they were together. Brienne of Tarth is also going to go into the A tier, probably just above Barristan, just below Arianne. Very interesting. It's great to see her perspective on the world as a whole. Bronn, B tier, overused in the television show. He's fine in the books. Brynden Tully I like a lot. I think that as a Blackfish, kind of black sheep of the family, I really like him a lot. Catelyn Stark, also A tier. I'd say just above Barristan as well. Mostly because I think her chapters are quite interesting. And her turn as Lady Stoneheart is very, very cool and could be great in the Winds of Winter. Cersei Lannister, top of S tier. She is the greatest. She's hilarious. I really like Cersei. She's not overall the smartest or the best political player, But her chapters are always fun, and I do really like the added dimension it gives her character in A Feast for Crows as compared to the other books. We're still only on C's. This is going to take a very, very long time. Chitaya, I'm going to be honest, I do not remember who this is, so C tier. There might be a few of those in here, and I apologize for those, and if they're your favorite characters. Chet is also going to go in D. He tried to kill Sam and Jon. Not the greatest. Sorry for a second there. My cat's running around and distracted me for a second there. Harry says hello to all of you. Cleos Frey, also D tier. Cold Hands. I'm going to go top of C for cannibalism, because he does a little bit of that. Courtney Penrose is also going in C, with Cotter Pike as well. Craster is going at the bottom of D for now, because he's kind of the worst. Crescent I like a lot. As a figure who raised Stannis and Renly, it's really cool to have that Maester in that good role, rather than their typical either just purely knowledge machine or evil schemer, as Martin has a tendency to write them as. Dario, they seem to have misspelled Euron on here, but I won't hold that against the tier list people. I'd say B tier. He's pretty similar to Bronn in my eyes. They may be the same person. That could be cool. Daenerys is also an A tier. She's very interesting as a character, and I'm excited to see where she goes in The Winds of Winter. I'm not a huge fan of her chapters in Meereen, which is why she wasn't on my favorite point of view character list, but she is still one of my favorite characters overall. Dagmar Cleftjaw, I'm probably going to put him in C tier-ish. Yeah, around here seems good. Below Aerys, because at least Aerys was a little entertaining. Darion? I don't remember a Darion, so you're going to go in C tier. Davos Seaworth, top of A tier. Is he S? He's S. Davos is great. He's a voice for the common people. He is an exceedingly interesting character to get insight into the Stannis camp, who's, spoiler alert, one of my favorite characters. Yeah, overall, good character. Daenys Mallister is also going to go in C tier. Dick Crab is going to go in D tier, I'm going to say. Name does not get him any points. Donal Noy, probably going to go in B tier. I really love his quote. Actually, maybe just for the quote, he's going to go up a little higher. The quote about Stannis, Renly, and Robert being the different metals, one of my favorites in the series. Danella Hornwood, C tier, I'll say. Dantos was funny when he was around. It's nice that Sansa saved him. He didn't do too much other than potentially provide some poison. I like Doran Martell a lot. I'm going to put him at the bottom of A tier. He doesn't do much, which I think is kind of the point, but he is an interesting character, and I love me a schemer. I'm going to take a drink of water real quick here, because I've been talking a lot. Okay, sorry about that. So, Dorea is going to go in C tier, because I don't know that much about her. Controversial take here. Drogon, by far my least favorite of Daenerys' dragons. Don't like his name. I know it's Drogo, not Dragon, but it's pretty close to Dragon. I feel like Danny could have done better in that name. And overall, just the kind of Balerion comparisons just seem a bit strange given how young he is. Eddard Stark is going in A tier as well. I miss him quite a bit. He's a great part of the first book, and he'd probably be higher if he'd been alive longer, but he also might not have had as much impact had he been alive longer. Ed is also going, I can't give him A tier. I'm going to give him top of B tier, though. Ed is very entertaining in Jon's chapters, particularly in A Dance with Dragons. He's hilarious there. Edmure Tully I really like a lot, both through a perspective of Jaime and A Feast for Crows, and even before that. I think he's going to go pretty solidly in B tier, probably just under Edison Tullett. Edric Dane is a casualty of the time skip. The fact that it didn't happen really hurt Edric Dane. He could have been quite cool at that point. Edric Storm, he's not too much of a character as far as we know at this point. He's more of just a plot device. He has blood, and Melisandre wants that blood. But yeah, no, not the greatest. Elia Martell, don't know very much about her. I don't remember where I put that section. That's, yeah, right here. Ilaria Sand, she's pretty good. I'm going to go, they did not mean to put her there. Probably bottom of B tier, I would say. Emmon Frey is going to go D. Euron Greyjoy is a very interesting villain. I'm going to put him in B tier because we haven't seen too much of him as of yet, and I'd like to see more of him to really get a perspective on him as a villain before I would place him above his current standing. I don't know who this person is. Just going to be honest there. Garland Tyrell I like a lot, though. Garland Tyrell is going to go probably B tier, probably just under Areo Hota. Gendry, I really like for his interactions with Arya. Probably B tier as well. Jenna Lannister has some really fun interactions with Jaime that I also really like. So going a lot of B tiers. Oh, here we go. The man, the myth, the Night King, Gerald Dane going straight to the A tier. I know we haven't seen a lot of him, but just him being such an edgelord is incredibly entertaining, and just the fan kind of personification of him, the perception of him in the fandom, has really bumped him up for me. I don't mind Gerald Dane all that much. Garrus Drinkwater, where did I put the other companion of Mr. Quentin? I don't remember. It's impossible to keep track. Oh, Ironwood, right here. Good, you're going here. Ghost, good boy. He's a good boy. He's going top of B tier. Good boy. Gilly is also going to go pretty high in B tier. I like her a lot. I wish we saw more of her. Gregor Clegane is probably going to go in D tier. He's not great. That Robert Strong, though, he seems like a nice guy. Gren's pretty great. I'm going to put him in B as well, though my perception might be kind of being skewed by the show. But overall, I like him a lot. Grey Wind is also a good boy, so this is just going to be the good boy zone up here. Grey Worm, not too much of a character. I'd like it if he showed a bit more initiative and personality. I think he does have a lot of potential for the Winds of Winter, though, should that book be released. Halden Halfmaester is pretty interesting as well. I am biased towards the Aegon camp in general, but I quite like Halden Halfmaester. Harold Harding kind of just seems like a pretentious lordling, so I'm going to put him down here. Harry Strickland, going towards the bottom of C tier. Not a huge fan. He seemed kind of bad when we met the Golden Company with Jon Con. Horace Swift is probably going to go C tier as well. The High Sparrow, B tier at the very least as a plot device. Ditto for Hisdar Zolorak, because I like Hisdar. He's actually kind of a decent guy, which I don't mind at all. Hodor is up next. He's going to go in B tier, I believe. Probably right around Gilly. That seems like a good spot. Good. This is looking good so far. Hosteen Frey. Hoster Tully wasn't really much of a character prior to his death. Hot Pie is the Shrouded Lord, but he's also going to go in B tier because I don't think that he does all that much. He'll go right above Gendry because it's Hot Pie. Hyle Hunt is going to go in the B tier as well. Companion to Brienne's. That's always fun. Illyrio Mopatis. I'm going to say B tier. You know I love me a schemer, and he is one of the best, it seems, unless his plans all self-destruct, which they well might. Ilan Payne is a really interesting character. I did not mean to open that. I think it's quite cool that people think he could be a potential prologue for the Winds of Winter. I think it'd be great to see the internal thoughts of a character who can't talk. That just seems like a really cool concept for a prologue chapter, and I am fully on board with that. Eerie is going to go in C tier. Jacelyn Bywater, also going to go in C tier. Jaime Lannister, we're up. I apologize, this is going to start taking a while because I have a trackpad and not a mouse because my computer isn't the greatest. So Jaime Lannister, yeah, the two Lannisters up here. Jaime has probably the best character arc, so he's probably going to outdo Cersei there. Janos Slint is going to go in D tier. Jaqen H'ghar, he's interesting. He's the alchemist now, so middle of C tier-ish, maybe a little higher. J.R. Mormont, I like a lot. He's a good initial mentor for Jon. He reminds me a lot of Eddard Stark. He can go up here, just above Brynnen Stark. I feel bad for Jane Poole. I don't feel particularly strongly for her other than just I hope she is okay, which she probably isn't, but regardless of that. Jane Westerling I have a soft spot for. Mostly because my first theory about the books was about Jane Westerling. So I'm going to put her higher than perhaps she should be. Jackie, I don't know who that is. Also, see previous response. Joffrey Baratheon, he's dead, which is cool. Jojen Reed, everybody's favorite bowl of paste. Going in the B tier, good to have some insight into Greensight for Bran. That's quite nice. Jon Arryn is a good figure in that he did rule the realm for quite a long time instead of Robert Baratheon, which is good. Oh, here he is. Here he is, my favorite. Jon Connington is top of S tier. You do not get better than Jon Connington in terms of characters. He's fantastic overall. He has so many memorable quotes. His chapters are incredible. What was it? I attempted to reach a star, overreached, and fell. I failed the father, but I will not fail the son. He's just such an incredibly interesting and driven character. I really, really, really like him. And I really like his love for Rhaegar as well. That's just a really interesting relationship that I'd love to see more insight into in The Winds of Winter, as I think that this kind of unrequited love from Jon Connington is a very strong motivator that I like quite a bit. Jon Snow, also going to go in A tier. He's so much better in the books than the show, in my eyes. I think the show kind of made him a bit too good at everything, and I think that the book does a good job of balancing that. He is still a kid and is not immediately going to be great at every single thing he does. Jon Umber, I'm going to assume this is the Great Jon and put him in B tier, because it doesn't say Great Jon or Small Jon. Jorah Mormont, also B tier. I think I might also be being shaded by the show on this one as well, because the actor in the show is a lot better than the character in the book is. So overall, yeah, that's fair. Kevin Lannister is going to go probably top of B tier for me. I like Kevin a lot. I don't want to disrupt the good boy zone, so he's probably going to go in A tier. He's like kind of a more reasonable and less prone to war crimes Tywin. And that seems quite good overall. I like that in a person. Lack of war crimes, generally. Speaking of war crimes, we got Khal Drogo. I'm going to put him right next to his dragon, but slightly above it, because he has a better name. The Kindly Man, I'm going to put him with Cold Hands, both kind of guides for Arya and Bran, respectively. Maybe not respectively. I forget the order in which I said those things. Krasnitz is going to go in C tier. Lady Stoneheart, hoping for big things in Winds of Winter. You were going to go right next to Catelyn, because I thought there were just going to be one of you there. So, yeah, I don't know which I like better. I think I like Lady Stoneheart's narrative potential a little better, but after the series is over, that might change. Lady, gone too soon. There you go. You can go straight to the good boy zone. Lancel Lannister is a plot device. Lemoncloak is the center of a lot of mysteries that I've recently been hearing a lot about, because I wanted to look into doing a video on this. But yeah, a lot of people think he's a lot of different things. He's seems like an interesting fellow. Septa Lemore is quite interesting as a character and benefits from being in Aegon's camp, much the same way that the Half-Maester does. Little Walder, I like less than Big Walder. He's just kind of a big guy. Loras Tyrell has one of my favorite quotes in the book series, that being about the death of Renly. When the sun sets, no candle can replace it. And honestly, that quote alone is going to get him placed pretty solidly in the A tier. Plus, I'm one of the people who subscribes to the fact that he's probably not as hurt as it was made out to be to Cersei. Overall, good character. Lothar Brune, C tier. Maester Luwin, also C tier. Lyanna Stark, I'm going to put her next to Ashara Dane, because they're not dissimilar. Lyn Corbray, Lysa Arryn, she's entertaining at the very least. She starts the whole plot. I'm going to put her at the top of C tier for that. Mace Tyrell, Galaxy Brain, best strategic commander in Westeros. I'm kidding, unless that happens to actually be the case. I'm going to put him in B tier. Mance Rayder is going to go in A tier. He's a really interesting figure, and I like the kind of parallels he provides to the story of Bael the Bard with his infiltration of Winterfell. Just above, or no, we'll put him above Brynden. That seems fair. Mandon Moore slash Tyrion's face, and that was kind of uncool of him. Marjorie Tyrell, I like her a lot. I like her in the show, perhaps even more than I like her in the books, but I'm going to put her right with her dad there at the bottom of B tier. Marillion is just a singer. That's fine. Good for him. Marwyn the Mage is great. Marwyn the Mage is kind of a conspiracy theorist, and as someone who is essentially making conspiracy theories for this series myself, I rate him quite highly. I'll put him right next to my first theory, Jane Westerling. So he's like pointing at her. See, look at that. Poetic cinema. Moving on to Mira Reed. That'll be pretty solid B tier. Melisandre, she has a ton of potential for the Winds of Winter being a point of view character. I'm super excited to see what she does. I love the insight into her magic and into her tricks that her chapter has provided so far. Yeah, I like Melisandre a lot. Maribald has one of my favorite speeches in the books. He's only in the one chapter, so I can't really rate him higher than B tier, but man, I'm going to put him way high up in B tier. Here seems good. I really like Maribald. Merritt Frey, this is just going to be the Frey zone, mostly. Mirren Trant can also go down here. Miri Mazdur. I understand her plight. I feel bad that she got burned alive and that Drogo's men were terrible, so she can go there. Missandei can go probably middle of C tier. Edric Storm tier, that's fair. Makoro is really cool. I'm really excited to see what him and Victarion get up to in the next book. I do think Victarion has more likelihood to survive than perhaps other people give him credit for. I think Makoro is a good reason as to why that is the case. Mordain, she's just kind of there. I don't recall who Mord is, so D tier. Sorry, Mord. Moore's Umber is going to go C tier. Maya Stone, I like her personality a lot. She reminds me a lot of her father, being Robert Baratheon. I'll put her... I put Gendry somewhere around here, didn't I? Where did I put Gendry? There are too many characters in this series. I think they should kill at least half of them. Okay. End is not out of sight, at least. This is all of the characters I have left, which is not great. Miranda Royce is also going to go in C tier, because she might be bad for my girl Sansa, who I like a lot. Marcella Baratheon, she's just a sweet kid. She'll go in B tier. Oh, that's where I put Gendry. And now I lost Maya Stone. That's cool. That's fine. Wait. Maya Stone is right there. Did I accidentally put her right next to Gendry? Wow. I can't take credit for that. That's pretty good. Nestor Royce can go in the C tier. Nymeria Sand can also go in the C. Actually, she's one of my favorite of the Sand Snakes. I'm going to move her up. I am too biased about the show Sand Snakes. Nymeria, you know where you're going. Right? Oh my god, this is getting unwieldy at this point. I will put you above Lady because you were still alive. Obara Sand is going to go in C tier. Oberyn Martell, the Red Viper. Rad. Love him. Pretty cool guy. Love Pedro Pascal as well. That was really the first performance of his I had seen, which is pretty good. He's a good actor. I'm looking forward to The Last of Us show, which might have come out by the time I put this video out. I'm not sure. I'm recording this video in advance because I have to start student teaching soon, and I'm not going to have nearly as much time as I do now, so I figured it'd be good to stockpile a little bit. Olenna Tyrell, in my mind, is one of the characters who is most improved by the television show. She is good in the books, just not great like she is in the show. Osfried Karstark, I don't remember what you do. Osha, pretty cool. I'm excited to see what she and Rickon have been up to as of recently. Hopefully we'll see that in the Winds of Winter. The Kettle Blacks are plot devices, essentially, that work for Littlefinger. You can go here. Patchface, I love. Patchface is so cool. I love his prophecies. Patchface is going to go right with Makoro, because they're both mystical beings, you know. Very similar vibes between these two, at least in terms of creepiness. Whereas, like, this is, like, serious creepy, and this is, like, funny creepy. It's fun. I like it. Pate, he's kind of lame in his prologue, and he dies, so C tier. Paxter Redwine, he sure has a navy, and for that, he will get high C tier. Penny, I like a lot. I think she's an interesting foil to Tyrion. She's going to go mid B tier here. Littlefinger, Go right on up to A tier, pal. I love me a schemer. He's creepy. He's bad. He is Littlefinger. I like him. He's pretty neat. Though I do think he's going to meet some untimely end at some point. Podrick, I like Podrick a lot. It's fun to see this little squire going around, both in the Tyrion story and in the Brienne story, and it's nice to see. Polliver, probably D tier overall. Piat Pri, also D tier. Pycelle, C tier, probably. Pipar, I don't know who Pipar is. Qyburn Halfhand's pretty cool. I like his death in helping Jon gain the trust of the wildlings. I'll put him with Dantos. That seems fair. They'd have fun together. Quaithe is mystic and interesting and cool, and I'm putting her between these two because of that. This is the mystic corner, and Lysa Arryn. Quentyn Martell is dead. Sorry to say. He's also B tier, I think. He's fun. I like his kind of subversion of adventure, but he's not as cool as Alaros. So, sorry, Quentyn. I do like his name, though. It's similar to my own. Qyburn, creepy science man, who I like marginally more than Quentyn. So, he can go just over camera with legs. Rafford, D tier, don't know who that is. Some of the Dothraki names have a tendency to blend together, at least in my head, as of recently, because it's been a minute since I've reread the earlier books, so I haven't had a chance to get refamiliarized with the Dothraki in a bit. Ramsay Bolton, bottom of D tier, he might be marginally better than Craster, I will give him that. Randyll Tarly, mean to his son, good military commander. He's going to get C tier for that. Rattleshirt, D tier, not the coolest. Renly, C tier, because he didn't accept the one true king into his heart. Resnack, Mo Resnack, is going to go D tier as well. Rhaegal, better dragon name. I like Rhaegal as a name, not my favorite of the dragon names, but yeah, you're going to bump up a tier. You're going to go to B tier, Rhaegal. Rhaegar, this is the poor decisions guy. Aggo is too low. I don't know who Aggo is. Rhaegar's going to go just above his dad because he was not the best. Rickard Karstark was not the best either. Pretty short-sighted. Rickon Stark, I'm going to put in C tier just because he's 4 and hasn't been a character yet. I have great hope for him in the future, though. Robb Stark, though, is going to go in B tier. He made some boneheaded moves during the war. But overall, not too bad as a character. I like him. The young wolf, as they call him. Hey, it's Preston Jacobs. I'm going to go with... I'm going to put him right next to Rickon because I think they're in a similar boat. Also, I think he'll be happy being right next to his mom. That would probably be good. Yeah, that works out. Okay, great. Robert Baratheon, Bobby B. The man himself is going to go in Bobby B tier. Because he's like, funny, but he's also kind of abusive and not the greatest. But yeah, no, overall, he's not terrible. Robert Strong, whoever he may be, I don't know. We'll see. Roderick Castle doesn't do a lot, but he's still better than most of these people, so I'll put him here. Roderick the Reader, the man, the myth, the legend. I love Roderick the Reader. He is going to go... honestly, maybe A tier. The Reader's really cool. I'm going to put him above Littlefinger. A big fan of the Reader. Raleigh Duckfield, the Aegon camp advantage, as I'd like to call it. Where's my little Aegon camp? Up here. I know I made one. It's somewhere. I'm not going to be able to find it. Maybe I'll put him up there. Yeah, that's fine. Roose Bolton, also D tier. Rorge, also D tier. Salador San, he's a pirate. That's pretty cool. We don't know that much else about him. Samwell Tarly, pretty great. I like Sam a lot. He's a really cool character, and I love the kind of idea of him finding value in life outside of the typical Night's Watch being a warrior. He's instead a scholar, which is quite nice. Yeah, I'm going to put him above Barristan, I'd say, overall. That's pretty fair. Sandor Clegane, also really like him. I think that he should stay as a gravedigger in the books. I think that overall his story is improved by him retiring. I think that really brings things full circle for him. Sansa, going straight up to A tier. Maybe S tier for Sansa. I like Sansa a lot. Sansa has great potential for the Winds of Winter as well. I'll put Sansa and Arya next to each other, I'll say. Oh, nope, didn't mean to do that. Selyse Florent, not the best. Shay, also not the best, at least in the books. Shaggy Dog, Jesus, that is frightening art of Shaggy Dog. I'm a little scared of that one. Let's see. Shaggy Dog goes right up here. Shireen Baratheon, cute kid, gonna go in the kid zone. Probably above these two, though. I like her a little more than them. Sigorn, I don't remember. Strafford Lannister, probably C tier as well. Stannis Baratheon, you know him. You love him. You probably know where he's going now. Straight up to S tier here, for sure. Probably above Cersei for me. Apologies for the cut there. My cat was going crazy again, and I decided to give him a little attention for a while, because I didn't want him to be sad. So yeah, overall, Stannis is going pretty near the top of S tier. Him and Jon Connington are effectively tied for me. So yeah, we're getting near the end here. We're going to be going through the rest of these. We know where Summer goes. Okay, where is the Good Boy Zone? That's in B tier, right? Yeah, got it. This is a lot of characters. I am proud of myself for getting through these. I'm going to switch it up. I think Nymeria has potential to be higher than this with her wolf pack, but we will see. Syrio Forel, he doesn't do much because he's killed unless he's Jack and Hagar, which would be cool. Taina Merryweather, the Mirish swamp incident is the main thing that is remembered about her, at least from what I've seen. Tattered Prince, really cool aesthetic overall. The Waif, Theon Greyjoy. Okay, we're going all the way up, buddy. Great arc, especially in dance. He's just a fantastic character all around. Overall, I'd put him just about... I'll put him here, I'll say. Thoros of Myr is quite cool as a character as well. Somebody who essentially was a part of this faith, kind of in a more auxiliary capacity, but ends up more invigorated by it through actually discovering its magic. I really like Thoros of Myr. I think he's a really interesting character. I'd love to make a character like that for like D&D or something. Three-Eyed Crow, C tier as well. Similarly mystical to these guys, but slightly above them because Bloodraven's a pretty interesting character. Timett, son of Timett. You can go in B tier, Timett. Yeah, that'll be good. There you go, Timett. Okay. Tom of Seven Streams. I always say strings instead of streams. I think I did that in the prologue video, but yeah, he's fine. Tommen Baratheon, I stand with our king and his order to outlaw beats. I am wholeheartedly in agreement with that, and I think that any kid would do the same thing. I like Tommen a lot. Tommen can go there. Tormund, Giant's Bane, is going to go in B tier. I think he's an entertaining character. I like the theory that he's a husband to bears. Trystane Martell, where's the kiddie pool? It's up here, yeah. I would put him below Rob. I'm going to put him below Lysa just to not separate them. I don't want to cause a scene. Tycho Nestoris, Iron Bank, cool. I just like that he brought the Iron Bank to Stannis' side. But yeah, for doing that, he'll get B tier. I'll give him that. Well done, Tycho. Tyene Sand, another member of the Sand Snakes that I like a fair bit, can go up in B tier. Tyrion Lannister, he's okay. Just an okay character. He's pretty chill. He's a good villain. I like him quite a bit. I am kidding here. Tyrion is obviously an S tier character, and I'd put him like here, I'd say, at least in terms of my personal favorites. Tysha, I would love to see her on page, but we haven't yet. Tywin Lannister is a fascinating character. I like watching him a lot. I really love Charles' dance in the show. I'm going to put him in B tier for the war crimes, but he's a fun character. other than the war crimes. Val I like a lot as well. She's probably going to go up to A tier, is my thought. She's a very interesting character. I think that her insights on grayscale in particular are likely to be proven correct in the next book, and I'm quite excited to see that be the case. We'll put her above, just under Mance, I'd say. That seems apt. Varamir Sixskins, not a great dude. I like his prologue chapter, though. Vargo Hoat, one of the worst dudes. Varys, love me some Varys. I think that out of the schemers that are in King's Landing playing the game, or even most of the well-known schemers in the game at all, Varys is probably my favorite, and this is partially due to the Aegon cause benefiting him. Victarion Greyjoy is hilarious. He is one of my favorite point of view characters. Killing someone for correcting him that the Dothraki Sea is not an ocean is objectively the funniest thing someone does in the book. And I'm going to put him in there for that. Also, I really like this art, and it looks a lot like Mark Hamill, which I don't know if that's the point, but it sure does. Okay, almost done. Viserion. Best dragon name, bar none. It's not just because Viserys II is the best king. It's because it's just a pretty cool dragon name. And also I like the white coloration and the gold. It's pretty top of good boy zone for Viserion, the goodest boy. I hope he gets a better fate than he did in the show, but we will see. Viserys Targaryen, not the best. Easily the third best Viserys that we've seen. Walder Frey, bad. Waymore Royce. God, dance with me then. That's pretty good. I'm a fan of that. It's gonna put him in B tier. He died well. I'll put him right next to Robb Stark because they both died well. Widow of the Waterfront is gonna go in C tier. Willis Tyrell is my favorite Tyrell by a wide margin. I think he's a really interesting character, seeing as he had his leg injured and has turned to scholarly pursuits and other things in order to spend his time instead. I really, really like that. I think he's a cool character. I also really like that he didn't hold a grudge against Oberyn, since Oberyn is the one who actually broke his leg. So, yeah, overall, I'm a big Willis fan. I think Willis should hopefully appear in the next book. So, we shall see. Will, he might have been the dance with me then. I might have gotten mixed up on that, and I'm sure you've already corrected me in the comments, or maybe you're correcting me now. Cool. That's cool. I still like hearing when people correct me, especially if I'm wrong. Though I'm not always wrong when people correct me. So it's fun either way. Wyman Manderley, the author of The Pink Letter. We're going all the way up here, pal. We're going A tier for this. Speaking of schemers, he's certainly a good schemer. He's going to go just above Darkstar for me. Dorkstar, more like. Haha, I got him. Yeah, these are Ygritte. Ygritte's pretty cool. Also doesn't have too much time in the books, but overall, still pretty good. I'll put her above Olenna in the books. Jon Royce is quite cool. Bronze Jon, the main opposition to Littlefinger in the Vale. I'm a fan of Bronze Jon. He's gonna go boop right over there. 2 left. Yoren, he's pretty cool. I like Yoren a lot, especially in the show. Actor's great. I think he does a great job of kind of helping Arya into the world and serves as one of her many mentors. And last but not least, young Griff is going to go straight to A tier for me because young Griff is, in my eyes, the best candidate for King of Westeros other than Stannis himself, as he's been raised to rule and has some pretty good support overall. So yeah, I'm going to say young Griff just under Sam for me. Yeah, so this is the list. We have Jon Connington first, where he should be, and all the rest of these folks in this order exactly. I've made 0 mistakes on this list. I'd love to hear your own lists in the comments. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff. I would really appreciate it. It helps me grow the channel. Thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to be back with much more normal content in the future. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.